around us today are suffering. Not just physically suffering, but suffering from not understanding the deen, Islam, not understanding the Quran, not understanding who the Prophet was, alayhi salatu wasalam, not understanding who the Sahabas were. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, those who truly fear Allah among His servants are those who have knowledge, for Allah is exalted in might and is forgiving. This means that only the people of knowledge truly fear Allah. So for the people who are studying the deen, for the people who are making the effort to understand the Quran, and to the people who are taking the classes, that is amazing. But for us, for the rest of us, what about the rest of us? Because many of us are living our daily lives caring about, our job, our payments, our cars, our wives, our kids. And then it basically takes over everything. And then we start living our life and we end up forgetting we end up forgetting basically the purpose and why we're here. We end up forgetting who we are and what our identity is. And it's amazing because it's just worsening the ummah, and it's just worsening the condition that we are in already. The Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam says that there will come a day where holding on to your iman, your faith, will be as if you are holding on to hot coals. Imagine having hot coals in your hand. What would you do? What's the normal reaction of a human? Or the second we touch it, we're gonna fling it, we're gonna throw it on the ground and yelling in pain. I feel like we are almost at that point where holding on to our deen, our iman, our faith is like us holding on to hot coals, burning hot coals in our hand. Because there's fitna around us. There's the America, the place we live in. Just by a smartphone, for example, we have smartphones, and a click of a button you could see something haram. There's haram everywhere. And I feel like we are almost at that point where holding on to the deen, holding on to faith, holding on to your iman is like holding on to hot coals. So how can we how can we fix our state, and how can we better ourselves on a daily basis, and how can we understand the Quran? One way we can understand the Quran is by actually just learning Arabic, like Quranic Arabic. So I'm going to basically tell you a story of me. And so one time I was listening to Quran in the car. And I was listening to it, and I ended up memorizing Surah Al-Mulk from how many times I listened to it. But at like a couple of months later, I told myself, what good does it do me memorizing the Quran or memorizing a surah without me understanding it, without me knowing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to tell me, without implementing it in my life, without implementing it with actions. So what I told myself is I'm going to actually start learning Quranic Arabic. So I ended up taking a class with an online class with Nu'man Ali Khan, and he's basically teaching us Arabic online, which is pretty awesome. By doing so, you have a clearer picture of Islam and what Islam truly is, and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for me and you in the Quran. The gems that we're missing out on, the stones that are in the Quran that we could take and we could grasp. So basically, and there are parts of the ummah that are doing an amazing job with youth groups, with creating amazing programs that keeps the young youth occupied. But what about for the rest of us? I mean, for example, Masjid al-Faruq is doing a great job with the College of Islamic Studies and the youth program, and how they have a speaker every Friday, which is awesome because it reunites the Muslims all in one place, and we have an amazing time. But what about for the rest of us? So this is why it's very important that we actually make it a priority to learn the religion, to understand the deen, to understand the Quran. Because without the deen, we don't have anything. There is no purpose. We have no identity without it. So my message to you guys is, make it a priority to understand the Quran. Make it a priority to learn about your religion. And if you truly want to fear Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the more knowledge you have, the more you fear Allah. So it's basically there. It's telling you what you need to do.